Early explorers described this stretch of Oregon coastline as forbidding and primeval and graveyard coastline, and it terrified them. And standing atop the 800-foot cliffs of Cape Perpetua, looking down on the cold Pacific, I understood why. Life-changing moments, not postcard views, those deeper experiences that really land. Not because the mountains have changed, because we did. We got faster, louder, more distracted, more comfortable, and honestly, more crowded. So, I'm out here trying to see what can be done about that. Ocean to Ice, or OTI, is a 6-month, 1,000-mile backpacking expedition through the Pacific Northwest and Canadian Rockies, used as a living laboratory. I'm basing out of my van, the Silver Sasquatch, between sections and sharing notes from the trail. Since the last dispatch, I headed south on the Oregon coast. Now, the Cape Perpetua area, it's spoken of in hushed tones, forbidding and dangerous, and it sounded like my kind of place. The sun was setting. Low light, ominous clouds drifting overhead began picking up shades of pink. I stepped towards the edge and peered down, 800 feet above the Pacific, as cold wind screamed across the cliffs. The height and the wind were dizzying, so I stepped back a couple of feet. And far below me, whitewater exploded against the basalt shelves like a war zone. It was less like surf and more like full-scale chaos. And even from that height, the spray was enormous. Deep booming reverberations echoed upward from below. Whump, whump, whump. At Thor's Well, waves vanished underground through collapsed volcanic tunnels before erupting seconds later through holes in the rock. The surf that evening was probably 8 or 10 feet, but that's nothing here. During major winter storms, waves along this section of coast can exceed 60 feet. Storm energy travels thousands of miles across the Pacific before colliding with reefs, cliffs, sea caves, and narrow basalt channels that compress and amplify the force. That's why even moderate surf here can feel apocalyptic. Captain James Cook charted parts of the Pacific Northwest in the late 1700s, and sailors feared this coastline for good reason. Storms, reefs, cliffs, fog, shipwrecks, vanished crews. And standing atop Cape Perpetua, I understood why Cook once wrote, "The very aspect of the country was sufficient to fill us with astonishment. The place is beautiful, but it does not feel interested in becoming safe." During my time in this area, I kept coming back to one simple observation. This place cannot be controlled. You can admire it, you can prepare for it, you can certainly underestimate it, but sometimes you just need to step back, like way back. The ocean doesn't care what experience you hoped to have that day. The cliffs do not care about your itinerary. The weather does not consult your schedule before rolling in. Reality simply is what it is. And strangely enough, I think that's part of what makes places like this so powerful. Much of modern life is built around control. We control the temperature, the lighting, the route, the entertainment, the timing, and increasingly, the information we consume. We become accustomed to shaping the world around our preferences. Cape Perpetua offers a reminder that some things remain stubbornly wild. The longer I'm on Ocean to Ice, the more I realize I began this expedition carrying a subtle assumption. I thought the challenge would be covering the miles. I expected the logistics, the hiking, the physical effort to be the difficult part. The permits matter, The routes matter. The campsites matter. The mileage matters. Without a plan, I would have never made it to Cape Perpetua in the first place. But something unexpected keeps happening. The moments that stay with me rarely come from the plan itself. The bats in Paria Canyon, the elk wandering near Cannon Beach, the bald eagles soaring over the Bridge of the Gods, the seals barking below Cape Arago, the unexpected emotion I felt atop Neocani Mountain. None of those moments appeared on an itinerary. None of them were objectives. None of them were accomplishments, yet those are the moments I remember. The realization is slowly changing how I think about adventure. Perhaps that is one reason deeper experiences can feel harder to find in a louder world. We spend enormous effort planning, optimizing, scheduling, and pursuing outcomes. Then, once we arrive, we stop paying attention. Cape Perpetua certainly felt that way. I arrived expecting dramatic scenery. The scenery delivered, but the deeper lesson came from something else entirely. It came from realizing that the place itself had a vote. The cliffs, the wind, the surf, the history, the danger, the sheer untamed nature of it, all were shaping the experiences whether I intended them to or not. That feels like a lesson worth adding to the Ocean to Ice field guide. So next step, it's already on the map, but what happens there is not. So, packs on. Let's see what's still out there.